Hello everyone and welcome back to On the Garden Path, a series where we take you all over Alaska to explore community gardens and see how they're contributing to food security and sustainability all throughout the state. We have some sunshine coming at you in today's video. We're going to Valdez, Alaska, where one woman and a small team of volunteers are keeping a garden alive through sheer willpower in their spare time. Christina has created this beautiful garden next to a dog park and within walking distance of the local hospital. And thanks to her leadership, it has been thriving for years. Let's go see how this small green space in a little fishing town is bringing people food and joy, even when its gardeners are extremely busy. Hi everybody, I'm here in the Valdez Community Garden with Christina Duffy. Christina, tell us about your story. How did you get involved in the Valdez Community Garden and where are you from originally?
Yeah, I'm from Chicago. I came up to Valdez 12 years ago for a summer job with one of the sea kayaking companies here. Just kind of fell in love with the area and kept coming back. The next summer after that, I realized how much I loved this place and wanted to make it home, but the only thing missing for me was a community garden. In college, I helped start a community garden for the university, and we did farmers markets every Saturdays, and it was part of many outdoor classes through the college. So that was kind of where I got started with my college gardening career.
Very cool.
And interests. So I wanted to bring that to Valdez and kind of just made a public post and asked why this hasn't happened yet, and if anyone had the resources or information to get something like this going. And a few people came together and we just brainstormed and kept meeting and made it happen.
Cool. When was this, when this garden got started?
So this was 2015.
Okay, so it's been around a few years, got
Yeah.
a little bit of time to establish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've seen a lot of success in those years recently?
Yeah, we grow a little bit more every year. We're still pretty small scale. There's still people in town who don't know that we have a community garden.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get more interest every year and we're able to expand a little bit more here and there. So
Awesome.
it's growing for sure.
How did it get started? How did you start organizing and communicating with people? What happened there?
There was another gal who's no longer in town, and a guy, a local resource, John Engels, who just knows all things farming and gardening for this area. And we just kind of got together a few times and tried to figure out what we needed to make this happen. And he helped me design the layout of a garden and find this plot that we lease through the city of Valdez.
Okay.
And then we just started applying for grants and got some money to make it happen.
Awesome. So applying for grants, does that mean that the Valdez Community Garden is a 501c3 nonprofit or a loose group?
Yeah, so yes, it is now officially a nonprofit, 501c3. We got our initial grant through SWAN, which is the Sound Wellness Alliance Network, kind of a local-based community program here to help fund community projects like that. So we got a pretty large grant from them the first year, and so that's how we were able to make things happen.
Awesome. How much was that grant?
It was $10,000.
Okay, good. So what did that grant then pay for? Was it the shed, the greenhouse?
No, so that all came later. So the grant was mostly for John's time and efforts to clear the land with his tractors, but also to bring in a lot of compost and topsoil to create the beds. And then we also got a grant from Fiskars for a lot of tools that were donated. And then a little bit more of that grant just kind of rolled over from year to year to help keep us afloat. And so that was basically the only grant that we've gotten. And it's just, I've made it stretch all these years.
Good.
So it's almost depleted now, but we don't really have a lot of expenses.
So that leads me to the next question. How are funds currently raised for the garden?
So each plot has a plot holder. So people pay rent on each of their plots. So someone can rent a plot for the summer. A large plot is $100, a small plot is $50, and that just goes back into the garden. It goes into maintaining tools and providing seeds and other plants for all of the plot holders. And aside from that, that's about it. I haven't gotten a grant for a couple of years. I've been pretty busy, but we don't really have a lot of expenses. So things like the greenhouse and the shed, we did a fundraiser for each of those just within the community to raise enough money for each of those throughout the years.
Awesome. How big were those fundraisers?
Pretty small. I think we paid maybe $4,000 or $5,000 for the shed, and I think $8,000 or $9,000 for the greenhouse. The community college actually built the shed for us, and then the greenhouse it was a kit from somewhere just outside of Anchorage.
How does participation work? Are there requirements of your bed holders, such as volunteer hours or donation of some sort?
Not really. It's all pretty much volunteer based. We don't hold anyone accountable for maintaining the community space, but we do encourage them to help us out. So yeah, people just kind of take turns weeding the flower bed or cutting the grass or repairing the shed, or little things that happen here and there. Everyone just kind of chips in.
Mm-hmm. And you find that pretty much everything gets taken care of?
Yeah, I mean, not as much as I would like to. I mean, there's always more to be done, but yeah, I think we're getting by just fine.
Tell me about how you communicate with the group of people who participate in the community garden. What's your, do you have a Facebook, and what goes on there?
Yeah, pretty much we all just communicate on our Facebook page to talk about, what needs to be done, or if someone's using the sprinkler for an hour to leave it alone, or it's pretty much how we communicate. It's just on the Facebook page. And then, so every spring I send out emails to all the prior year's plot holders to see if they would like to maintain their plot again this year. And that just allows me to reconfigure how many spots we have open. So we have a little bit of turnover every year, and we do also have a lot of people who've been in their plots since the beginning. So pretty much email and Facebook is how I am able to communicate with all of these people.
Do you hold any events here, like work parties or educational events at all?
We have had a few events in the past. We try to do a work party every spring when all the snow melts, and we have opening weekend to try to encourage people to come out and work together and get things done that are not just specific to each person's plot, but part of the bigger community garden project. We'll occasionally have like a solstice party or harvest party. Gold Rush Days happens every year in Valdez, and so we try to do a little tea party in the garden. And so, yeah, we do a couple small scale events every summer.
Looking at the beds around here, they're not raised beds like a lot of the other community gardens that we've seen further up north. Behind here we can see these kind of mounds with some cloth mulch over them. Did you make a decision on purpose that you should not do raised beds for a reason, and what kind of soil amendments were put into these?
Yeah, so in that we are leasing this land from the city, part of the lease agreement is that we cannot have permanent structures here.
Okay.
And so nobody wanted to build raised beds that we had to disassemble every fall. And so, yeah, the easiest route was just going to be to import soil and compost and build the beds just right on the ground level.
Okay.
And every year we purchase a bunch of soil amendments for all the plot holders to use, and they can test their soil or just fluff it up as needed. Fertilizer and stuff like that is all provided and paid for by the plot holder funds.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah. And these rocks, they come from the beach, or?
The rocks came for free with the land. Yep, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Took a lot of rock picking to get this where we can at least grow stuff.
Yeah. At the end of the season, where does the harvest go? Does it go to each bed holders? Is there any donations?
So each plot has a plot holder, and everyone is responsible for their own space that they rent. So they can grow what they want and harvest what they want. There is a plot that is specifically for the food bank.
Okay.
And so all that stuff goes to the food bank when it's harvest time.
Are you responsible then for taking that out to the food bank? Who's
No,
responsible
there's
for that?
actually a volunteer from the food bank who manages that plot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know how much gets harvested from that?
I don't know for sure. They've kind of been on and off every other year or so with regards to, them having the volunteers able to do that. So this year they have a really great volunteer who's put in a lot of effort into their plot, and so they should have a really big harvest this fall.
Great. You said you had some small plots and some large plots. How many of those are there around us right now?
Yeah, so I think there's about 16 large plots, and people can opt to rent the whole large plot, which is roughly 20 by 20, or we could split it up into 2 small plots, which would be half of that.
Seems like a lot of plots.
Yeah, and most people have large plots. There's a few small plots. There's also a couple of raised beds along the sidewalk that were donated from the city, and so a couple people have those as well.
Have you seen a really positive impact on the community since you've built this?
Yeah, I think I've heard personally from a few people who are really grateful just to have this green space to come to. Some of them are plot holders who don't have the green space in their own homes and yards, so this is a perfect opportunity for them. And then a lot of other people in the community enjoy just walking through here and checking out the plants and flowers and having a green space to walk throughout the day.
Do you have any future plans coming down the road for this garden? Are there any big plans?
Nothing set in stone yet, but I do have some dreams of just expanding more to be able to provide to more people of the community. So kind of expanding that way with some more plots would be great, because we do have a little bit of a wait list every year. I would like to fundraise to get some lumber to build a gazebo so that we can have live music and classes and things here, even if it's raining, and just to have a little covered space would be nice and a cute addition to the garden.
How much of a wait list do you have every year?
It's just a couple to a few people every summer that, we just we don't have enough plots for the demand yet, but we grow a little bit every year, so. That's
good.
Yeah.
Before we sign off, is there anything you wanted to say about your garden or yourself?
Probably it was my first child. Making this happen has always just kind of been part of the completion of me being here in Valdez from Chicago. I was just really happy to have the space to provide it for the community and to be able to carry it on every year. Great.
If a new gardener who wanted to create a community garden came to you and asked for advice, what kind of advice would you give them?
Do your planning over the winter so that as soon as the snow melts, you can get everything in the ground that you possibly can, because the season is short. Yeah. There's just a lot of things that, don't grow here because of it's wet. Yeah, it rains a lot. A lot of things prefer greenhouses, but yeah, I would say just go for it. Something's going to grow.
I like that. If people are interested in participating in this community garden or possibly donating to the community garden, where would they go?
So we can be found on our Facebook page, the Karen Davies Stewart Community Garden of Valdez, or our email address is valdezcommunitygarden@gmail.com.
Okay.
And they can find me on either of those venues.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us in the garden today. I know you've got a lot going on, but it means so much to us that you can introduce us to your beautiful green space. And it looks like there's been a lot of hard work going into this. And so we're so excited to bring it to the screen. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
If you liked this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss our next episodes. We pay for everything you see out of pocket just because we believe so much that community gardens deserve a platform. If you believe that too, consider donating to our next project at www.trailheadgarden.com/donate. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the garden path.